Imagine for a single moment that every word you speak is a spark of sacred fire, a thread weaving the invisible plane with matter itself. What if I told you that you do not need complicated rituals or distant temples to exercise true magic? What if the most powerful instrument of creation lies closer than you imagine, lodged in your throat? From the most ancient times, the wise have spoken of the power of the verb, not as a simple tool for communicating ideas, but as a direct channel to the creative essence of the universe. In many spiritual traditions, the word does not merely transmit, it transforms. It does not simply inform, it gives form. The sound that emerges from your lips is far more than vibrating air. It is encoded energy. It is intention projected. It is reality in motion. In the beginning was the Word. The Gospel of John states this, not as poetic metaphor, but as mystical declaration. The Logos, the primordial Word, was not only present with God, it was God. The universe, in other words, was spoken into existence. If the cosmos was created by the Word, then every word you emit carries within it a spark of that original creative fire. The throat chakra, known in Sanskrit as Vishuddha, is far more than a point of energy. It is the vortex through which invisible intention transforms into audible vibration. It is the threshold where imagination, internal judgment, intuition, and emotion find their most immediate physical expression. This is why fear trembles in the voice, why anger shouts, why love softens the tone. The soul pronounces itself through the throat, and the world responds accordingly. Everything in the universe vibrates. Every word you speak carries a vibrational charge that affects not only your surroundings, but also your own energetic field. If you constantly repeat phrases like, "I cannot," "This is impossible," or "I do not deserve this," you are molding your electromagnetic field with patterns of limitation. Conversely, when you practice speaking from affirmation, recognition, and clarity, you are reconfiguring your environment toward higher states of harmony. In the Hebrew tradition, the name of God was unpronounceable because it was believed that speaking it invoked God's presence directly. This principle remains unchanged. What you name, you invoke. When you define yourself, you conjure yourself. If you say, "I am weak," it is not mere opinion. It is a spell cast against yourself. If you say, "I am light," you are declaring alignment with a higher, purer vibration. The throat, then, is not simply part of your body. It is the chalice of the Word, the tower from which your soul launches its light, or its shadow. Across every civilization that possessed genuine spiritual knowledge, there existed a unified understanding that transcended cultural boundaries. Speech itself is sacred. The word is not merely communication. It is the bridge between worlds, the threshold where spirit becomes matter. In the Egyptian mystery schools, Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic, was the one who spoke the spells that sustained the cosmos itself. Every hieroglyph was far more than a symbol. It was a vibration codified, a sound crystallized into form. To pronounce a name was to invoke its essence. To mispronounce it was to distort its vibration. The priests trained their voices with extraordinary discipline over years, understanding they were channeling living energy through the sacred throat. In the Hindu tradition, we find the mantras, sacred words possessing no literal meaning, yet containing extraordinary energetic power. They are vibrational formulas that, when repeated with full consciousness, awaken dormant energy centers and reconfigure the auric field completely. Om does not describe anything concrete, yet it resonates with the frequency of the universe itself. In these traditions, sound does not describe reality, it creates it. In Islamic mysticism, the Quran was not merely written, it was revealed orally to the Prophet. Its recitation, tajweed, is a spiritual discipline where tone, rhythm, and intention align the reciter with divine will. Here, sound is not simply a tool of communication, but a direct pathway to the soul and to God. The ancient Hebrew mystics understood the power of the divine name so profoundly that they refused to pronounce it. They knew that speech carries creative power beyond measure. To speak is to name yourself into existence. You are constantly speaking yourself into the world you inhabit, with every utterance, every phrase. Medieval alchemists understood that alchemical formulas contained not only substances, but sacred invocations. Language was simultaneously science and art, a way of touching invisible planes of existence and compelling them to manifest in material form. What unites all these traditions is a singular revelation. The throat is sacred because it is the instrument through which the invisible becomes visible, through which the divine speaks itself into creation through human form. To master the throat is to become a conscious co-creator with the universe itself. Imagine for a moment that every word you pronounce is a stone you place upon the path you are destined to walk. Some are smooth and luminous, others are sharp or heavy. Each one modifies the structure of your reality, not symbolically, but vibrationally. This is the profound understanding that ancient esoteric schools possessed about the throat. It is not merely a channel of sound, but a sacred space where thought becomes matter. The energetic center of the throat, Vishuddha in the chakra system, is far more than a point of energy. It is the vortex through which invisible intention transforms into audible vibration. It is there that imagination, internal judgment, intuition, and emotion discover their most immediate physical expression. It is no accident that fear trembles in the voice, that anger shouts through it, and that love softens its tone. The soul pronounces itself through the throat, and the world responds in consequence. Everything in the universe vibrates, and each word you speak carries a vibrational charge that affects not only your environment, but also your own energetic field. If you constantly repeat limiting phrases, "I cannot," "This is impossible," "I do not deserve," you are molding your electromagnetic field with patterns of confinement. Conversely, when you practice speaking from affirmation, recognition, and clarity, you are reconfiguring your surroundings toward higher states of harmony and truth. In the Hebrew tradition, the name of God was considered unpronounceable because it was believed that to speak it was to invoke His presence directly. This principle has not changed. What you name, you invoke. When you define yourself, you conjure yourself into being. If you declare, "I am weak," it is not mere opinion. It is a spell cast against your own soul. If you declare, "I am light," you are aligning yourself with a higher, purer vibration. The throat is the intersection where the heart, the center of feeling, meets the mind, the center of thought. When there is harmony between these two, the word born from your mouth is powerful, coherent, and transformative. But when they conflict, when you speak what you do not think, or remain silent about what you feel, your voice loses force, and your energy fragments into confusion. The throat, therefore, is not simply part of your body. It is the chalice of the verb, the tower from which your soul launches its light, or its shadow. It is the altar where your divinity offers its word to the world. In the beginning was the Word. This affirmation appears in multiple traditions, from the Gospel of John to ancient Vedic texts and Hermetic wisdom, not as poetic metaphor, but as esoteric code revealing sound's creative power. The verb, the logos, is the articulated breath that initiated the cosmos. If the universe was created by the word, then every word you emit carries the spark of that primordial fire. The throat is a vibrational forge where the intangible takes form. Each word you speak acts as an energetic seed planted in the invisible fields of reality. Like all seeds, it does not remain inert. It germinates, grows, and bears fruit, for better or worse. This is the central principle of the creative word and of the destructive word. The ancient schools of wisdom knew that speaking was not banal. They trained initiates for years in the art of silence before permitting them to pronounce sacred formulas. Because the tongue, if not governed by consciousness, becomes a sword without master. Words are spells, and you are the sorcerer. Every phrase you repeat becomes a vibrational decree. When you say, "I am useless, I cannot do this," you enchant your reality with a negative conjure. What you say, you create. What you name comes into being. In Scripture, death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is energetic law. The language you choose determines the shape of your existence. You must not only think positively, you must speak positively. Good intentions must be expressed in words vibrating in coherence with what you desire to manifest. But if the word possesses power, silence is equally powerful. In mystical traditions, silence was the matrix from which all sacred sound emerges. The yogi practicing mauna, sacred silence, cultivates the energy of their verb before releasing it. Learning to remain silent is part of mastering the throat. To silence yourself to observe, to listen beyond noise, to connect with what remains unspoken. In that emptiness, intuition emerges, and with it comes the correct word, not reactive or mechanical, but revelatory. One of the best guarded secrets is that the voice's power lies not only in word content, but in vibrational coherence. When what you think, feel, and say align perfectly, your voice becomes a laser beam penetrating reality itself. That coherence marks the true master. They do not speak much, but when they do, everything shifts. Activating the sacred power of the throat means integrating it into daily life through conscious practices that transform how you communicate and create reality. First, choose your words consciously. Each word you speak ignites fire in the universe's vibratory field. Before speaking, pause and breathe. Observe your intention. Does this serve? Does it construct or destroy? When you say, "This is a problem," transmute it into, "This is an opportunity for transformation." When you say, "I am tired of everything," shift it to, "I am seeking new inner balance." When you say, "This always fails," transform it to, "I am learning something deeper from this experience." This is speaking from a vibrational place that empowers your experience. Second, practice the intentional mantra. Mantras are seed vibrations affecting your energetic field. Create personalized mantras affirming your alignment. Say, "My voice awakens truth in the world," or "My words are bridges to my highest purpose," or "Each time I speak with intention, I plant light." Recite them aloud in the morning or evening, feeling them from your heart center. Visualize their energy expanding like ripples. This reprograms your entire vibratory field. Third, cultivate silence as sanctuary. The wise understood that silence is the sacred preparation from which true words emerge. Set apart daily moments to sit in complete silence, without music or distraction. Only you, your breath, and inner listening. Ask from that stillness, what truth wants to be born from my voice today? This practice strengthens your expression center and gives root to your word. Fourth, speak with your body aligned. The throat is the bridge between your heart and your mind. If you stand upright, open, and present, your word carries natural authority. Before speaking of something important, adopt a dignified posture. Feel energy flowing from your pelvis through your spine to your crown. Then project that energy through your voice. This somatic alignment is key to speaking with real power. Fifth, avoid empty speech and chronic complaint. Constant complaint exhausts your throat's energy center. Observe how many times daily you speak from habit or reaction. Transmute complaint into awareness. Express discomfort with clarity and intention toward resolution. Your word becomes medicine, not poison. The power of your throat awaits awakening. Speak as if each word were a prayer, because it is. The throat is not merely a physical instrument for producing sound. It is a gateway between worlds, between the invisible realm of intention and the visible realm of manifestation. When you activate its power with consciousness, you do not only transform your words, you transform your entire relationship with reality itself. You become a creator, not a reactor. You become a conduit for truth, rather than a slave to unconscious habit. In ancient mystery schools, the initiate's journey always passed through the throat center as a critical threshold. It was understood that before ascending to higher levels of awareness, one must first master communication, presence, and the articulated intention of the word. The throat was the test. Can you speak truth even when silence is safer? Can you remain silent even when speaking would be louder and more comfortable? Can you align your words with your deepest values even when compromise would be easier? This mastery is not about becoming eloquent or charismatic in the conventional sense. It is about becoming coherent. When your words match your thoughts, and your thoughts match your feelings, and your feelings match your actions, you radiate a frequency that the universe cannot ignore. People feel it instinctively. Doors open. Synchronicities multiply. This is not magic. It is resonance. The throat center, when awakened, connects you to your authentic voice. Not the voice you were taught to use by society. Not the voice that pleases others or seeks approval. But the voice that emerges from your soul's deepest knowing. This voice has been waiting inside you all along, patient and powerful, ready to speak what only you can say. When you speak from this place of authenticity, you give permission to others to do the same. Your authenticity becomes a beacon in the darkness. Your courage to speak truth becomes an invitation for others to find theirs. This is how transformation spreads. Not through force, but through the contagion of conscious presence. The witchcraft of the voice is simply this: you are never separate from creation itself. Every word you speak is creation in action. Every silence you consciously hold is creation in gestation. You are not passive. You are not insignificant. Your throat is the instrument through which the universe speaks itself into being. Again and again, with each breath you take. Awaken it. Master it. Use it wisely. The world is waiting for the truth only your voice can carry.